Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another E3 My Thoughts On video. In this episode, we will be checking out Bethesda's press conference. And let me just say right off the bat, I am super salty. And, well, some of it does come from the conference, not all of it does. Let me explain. During the conference, I take notes. Right? That way I can lead the discussion, make sure I have topics, and all that. I took about 2 pages of notes during this event. And then I went to hit save, the program crashed, and I lost all my notes. So I had to go back through, watch the direct again, retake all of my notes, and I am now extremely salty about it. Hopefully this won't affect my bias in any way, shape, or form. I mean, okay, there are some problems here, and we will talk about them later on. But yeah, that just know that happened, and I hope it doesn't happen again. But no, overall, I did like a majority of this direct. What's it called? A showcase? I think they called it a showcase. Everyone's calling everything something different. But yeah, I think this was a showcase, and I did enjoy a majority of it. I thought there were a lot of cool things. It wasn't perfect, and let's get started. So, the first thing they showed off was Quake Champions. Now, I know for a fact that Quake is a game, like they say, it's been around for 20 years. I've never played it. I know there were at least 3, Quake 1, Quake 2, and Quake 3. And I know one of them hasn't aged very well, or was kind of awful, maybe that was Quake. There may have been Quake 4, I don't know. But I've never played any of them. The new one, I really don't know what to think of it, because it was like one of those pre-rendered, pre-done trailers. It just showed that the game was a shooter, competitive. We'll find out more during QuakeCon, whatever. But yeah, no, it is cool, and I recognized it right away as Quake. Well, yeah, basically right away as Quake. And it is... I'm interested to see more, but I have heard bad things about one of the other Quake games. I just don't remember which one. Nextly, they showed off Elder Scrolls Legends, which is another one of those card games. It's basically Skyrim Hearthstone, Elder Scrolls Hearthstone. Those card games like that are games I want to get into, but they never have interested me enough, if you know what I mean. They didn't really show off much of the game itself. They have this campaign, quote-unquote, trailer. I think that's what they called it anyways. That was really weird. I didn't find it very interesting in the slightest. But I don't know. I wish they had showed off more of the actual card game itself. They do have it playable, and they'll probably be showing it off. I don't... Again, I was watching the E3 one. I said I don't know a lot, and I don't care. And yeah, I'm gonna keep saying that. But yeah, I just wish they had shown more of the actual game itself. Fallout 4. Now, Fallout 4, of course, we expected to get more DLC, and that's exactly... They announced map pack 4, 5, and 6. 4 is contraptions. It adds in, elevators. There was, these things that you could run marbles across, conveyor belts. Basically, it allows you to make Rube Goldberg machines. And I do think that's pretty cool. I can see some neat things being done with it, if done right. The 5th expansion is Volt. And I think that comes, later this week. Maybe, I don't exactly know. I do, but... See, again, there I go. Yeah, I think it comes, later this week. But the second one is Volt Tech. And it basically allows you to build your own Volt. And they even say you can experiment on the people within your Volt. I like this one. I think that's really cool. Being able to experiment on the people. Kind of like Fallout Shelter, but more out there, hopefully. I don't know. I feel like this has a lot of potential if done correctly. And the sixth expansion is going to be Nuka World. I'm so mad they didn't call it Wasteland. That would be such a great joke. I'm guessing it's like a Disney World themed. It's basically Nuka-Cola theme park, but it's Disney World thing. It's Disney World, right? You can even see some of the influence. And it has potential. We literally only saw we didn't see much of it. And that comes out in August, and Volt Tech comes out in July. They announced an update for Fallout what's that game called? Fallout Shelter. And that it adds new enemies and new combat system, some other new characters, and it's also coming to PC, which I never played Fallout Shelter. I couldn't be bothered, but whatever. Good for whoever's interested. Of course, this is one we all saw. Unlike Quake, Quake was a surprise. I did not see that coming. I did not. This was one we saw coming. Elder Scrolls 5 They're revamping the lighting engine, some of the textures. They're adding mod support to consoles. I can see why they're doing it. It makes complete sense to me. I mean, why not get more people to buy Skyrim or buy it again? Even though if you really want best graphics, you buy the PC version and mod it to all hell. No, I've seen some of that. It looks beautiful. It really does. Let's see. They have Prey, which I think Prey was a game that was already announced. And it's been, re-announced, 3 or 4 times now. And, the only thoughts I really had on it is it reminds me of BioShock, but in space. Some of those level design, or what they showed, reminded me a lot of BioShock. Which, it's not exactly gosh, two of these games reminded me of, whatever. But no, it did remind me of BioShock. We didn't see much. They said we'll hear more about it later on. I'll wait and see. Elder Scrolls Online. So basically, it's they start off, they're talking about Elder Scrolls Online, and they're like, oh yeah, at first it kind of sucked, but then we made it better. And it's basically please buy Elder Scrolls Online if you haven't already. They also announced a Dark Brotherhood pack, which I was never in Skyrim. I was never really into Dark Brotherhood. I did Thieves Guild, because Thieves Guild was awesome. And so Dark Brotherhood, it's cool because Dark Brotherhood is one of the more interesting parts of the Elder Scrolls series. What was I gonna say? And my brother bought Elder Scrolls Online, and when I told him about the update, he was like, ugh. And so, yeah, I mean, if you like the game, and I do remember hearing when it first came out that it did suck. I do remember that. But from what I hear, they're trying to make it better, and good for them. They also announced this, 1 Tamriel thing, which was, goal was to remove, which was trying to, remove level. It was, trying to make it so that everybody could access everything, which, it's an MMO RPG, right? You gotta have these sorts of things. You gotta have that repetition. That's what made WoW so popular. I don't know. I'll see what they do with it. Like they said, this is the first time trying it. So, we'll see. Bethesda VR. So, they're adding... this was really cool. They're bringing both Doom and Fallout 4 to the HTC Vive. Whatever. That looks awesome. VR, I know it's not for everybody. I think it is interesting, and I do think it will be a big step in the evolution of gaming. Maybe not now, but hopefully soon. So, Bethesda, again, I think Doom works. Fallout 4 would probably work great, and those are coming in 2017. Let's see, okay, Doom. So, they have the snap map feature, which allows you to make custom maps, which is kind of cool. And I guess they're adding all this free DLC to it, new enemies and new rooms and new weapons, something like that. They're also adding new modes for the multiplayer. From what I've heard, the multiplayer wasn't that good. I know the campaign. I've heard the campaign, the single player, is great. It is great. And if you haven't, for the next week, they're doing a demo where you can get the first level, And I'm probably going to actually pick that up, because the new Doom does kind of interest me. I've heard a lot of good things about the single player. So maybe I'll check that out. I was hoping for, like, single player, like, story add-ons, but instead we just got multiplayer add-ons, which, I mean, maybe we'll still hopefully get story add-ons, but right now it's just multiplayer, and I mean, like, they're adding new guns, new demons, new weapons, new armor, new, like, 3 new maps. So it's, if you like it, whatever. And then lastly, the last, like, 20 minutes of the show. This is where my problem gets into it. It was Dishonored. That was all they showed. And oh my gosh, this dragged on forever. I was, like, they showed the first trailer. It's like a world trailer. And I was like, oh, that's a cool looking world. I kind of like that. That looks interesting, right? And they're, like, going into how they created it. It's like, oh, Dishonored was a game I tried to get into. I tried to play the first one, and I just couldn't do it. It was just not, even though it does remind me, again, this is another game that reminded me a lot of BioShock, and I love BioShock, so I'm surprised I wasn't able to get into it. But I tried. I really did. And then, so they showed off that, and then they showed off, like, some actual gameplay, which was nice. We got to see, whatever the girl's name, the main girl, like, roaming around the level. They showed off these new powers, which, like, one put the people to sleep, one was, like, a shadow kill or something, and there was this domino one. I thought the domino one, I like the idea, like, link all their brains, kill one, kill all. They did some stealth stabs, but at this point, it's, like, it's still going, and this has been, like, it's like, you know, okay, that's good. You can end it right here. And they're like, but wait, we have one more thing. And they show off this, like, time travel thing that's like a time travel lens of truth. Kind of like, remember the shift stones from Skyward Sword? Kind of like that, where you can see both the past and the present. And you can, like, shift between time to get your kill. It looks interesting. I like the whole lens of truth, like, looking through the thing to see the past. And you can see things literally happen, as they happen in the past. I thought that looked cool. And I was like, okay, now we're gonna end. And it's like, oh, wait, here's another trailer. And I was like, oh, I was so done with it at that point. It just kept going. And it kept going. And I just wanted it to end. And this new, they're like, oh yeah, this bonus trailer, it uses a lot of clips. If anything, they should have started off with this trailer and then gone into the, like, the in-depth analysis. Because a lot of the in-depth analysis shows up in this trailer. And I think the only reason they have this trailer is to give news sites something to, like, show off. But, you know, that's just my opinion. I mean, like, it still does look kind of cool. It just, they took forever on it. And I was like, oh, this is never gonna end. And yeah, overall, I did really like Bethesda's conference. I liked the majority of it. I'm still salty about losing my notes, but whatever. That's why this probably would have been a lot longer if I hadn't. So, I mean, like, that's kind of a good thing. Well, no, it isn't. I'm still salty. But, I mean, like, you know what I mean, right? And so I did really like it. Up until that end, I was totally up for saying Bethesda's going to win E3. I was totally down for that until they started doing all the Dishonored stuff. That's where it lost me. That's where I was just like, get it over with. Which, that didn't happen I mean, like, yeah, I didn't care for the football stuff in EA's. But, even still, that didn't bug me. This bugged me. And, I think the main problem was it didn't build hype. Because of how they talked about it, it didn't really create hype for the game. It was just presenting. And that was part of its problem. But yeah, overall, I liked most of it. And even the Dishonored, like, what they showed, it wasn't bad. That's the thing. And it's launching later this year, which, okay, it's got, I think, November 11th release date. Whatever. And they're also a collector's edition, which has, like, the mask, which is kind of cool, and also if you buy pre-order, you can also get the original game or something. I just remembered that. And yeah, so that was Bethesda's conference. I hope you all enjoyed, and stay tuned tomorrow morning, evening, when we talk about Microsoft's conference. Until then, peace.